Samburu Reserve owes its amazing wildlife to the Ewaso Ngiro river that flows through the land. Today we would be going down to the riverbank. Well, eventually. First was breakfast, followed by a wander in the grounds of the Sopa Samburu lodge. On the way to breakfast, we were delighted by the flock of Vulturine Guineafowl that we passed through. These birds were every bit as gorgeous as we'd hoped. The wander after breakfast wouldn't cover much ground. It didn't need to. The scrub around the hotel buildings was hopping with birds. First we stopped to enjoy an eastern yellow-billed hornbill that had found a hunk of bread to peck at. This was a new species for the trip, and much enjoyed. Next up was a female Von der Decken's hornbill, with the all-dark bill. We had seen a male yesterday. A slate-coloured boo-boo popped up briefly. Black-capped social weavers are very smart birds. We had seen one briefly on the way to breakfast, but not well enough to ID. Now we had much better views. Emerald-spotted wood dove was also in the area, as was Darano's barbet. The ones here were not the Samburu type we had seen in the Masai Mara. Rufous-tailed scrub robins were very active here. These used to be known as rufous bushchats, a name that certainly trips off the tongue a lot better. We once twitched a rufous bushchat on the last day of a holiday in Eilat, Israel, back in 1996, so it was really nice to catch up with them again here. It looks like most of these birds were the white-winged subspecies of rufous-tailed scrub robin. It wasn't just birds, this unstriped ground squirrel also showed well. Pale prinia is a very delicate-looking little bird. It is a thin, long-tailed warbler of dry country habitats and was a lifer for us. Another pale bird, and another lifer. The Gambaga flycatcher is a rather drab little bird that is generally uncommon in its range and likes dry scrub and woodland. We were pleased to have come across it and get such good views. Nearby we found a couple of parrot-billed sparrows for the day list. We had first seen grey wren warbler yesterday when we first entered the reserve. They are said to be shy and skulking, so it was great to find more birds who put on something of a show for us. Even more showy were the charming spotted morning thrushes. We grew to really like these engaging little birds. We also found a yellow-spotted petronia here too. This one actually showed off its yellow spot. An old favorite from Lake Baringo, the black-throated barbet, showed very well here. We really hadn't needed to go far, the grounds were very birdy, but we had to think about moving on. Hard as it would be to tear ourselves away from the lodge's easily accessible birds, there was a whole national reserve out there, waiting to be looked at. So we said goodbye to African grey flycatcher, took a quick look at a couple of rock thrushes on the roof of a nearby guest lodge and headed back to the main building. Well, that was the plan, but a nice male pygmy batis got in the way, followed by a very obliging yellow-necked spurfowl. Superb views were had of this spurfowl, wandering around the paths near the main lodge building. What a fabulous bird! Nearby, an African five-lined skink popped out of the undergrowth to take a look at us. There were a number of lizards on the outside wall of the reception building. Alongside the expected tropical house geckos were a number of larger, spectacular agama species. A blue lizard with a red-orange head turned out to be a male Kenya red-headed rockagama. He was surrounded by a seeming harem of female rockagamas. One was distinctly pregnant, judging by her bulging abdomen. Well, it was time to load up the vans and head out into the savannah. There were more birds to see, and the rest of the Samburu Big Five to find. No rest for the bird finders. Almost the first sighting was savannah elephant. It had actually been quite a while since we'd last seen these wonderful animals. This was a mother, leading a very cute calf. It was nice to find red and yellow barbets showing well too. We found another von der Decken's hornbill, this time a male, judging by the brightly coloured bill. New for us was this red-fronted prinia, the only one we would see. Red-backed shrike was a nice bird to see. We were only to see it in Samburu. This one was an immature bird. It was good to get more views of reticulated giraffe. This animal, one of the Samburu Big Five, is characterized by its large polygonal spots bordered in thin white lines, making it perhaps the smartest of the three giraffe types we had seen on the trip. The reticulated giraffe is the tallest land mammal and is considered endangered, with only an estimated 8,500 individuals remaining in the wild. This is a good argument for making this a separate species, so that this small population doesn't get lumped in with the other giraffes and its conservation status diluted. Fawn-colored, or foxy lark is one of those birds that is considered a separate species by some authorities, as foxy lark, and as a subspecies by others, such as eBird. The bird itself was a nice, unassuming little thing. This was our first sighting. Next up was another pygmy falcon. And another pink-breasted lark. Number 4 in the Samburu Big Five turned up next. Grevy zebra is the largest wild equid, with closer together stripes and more erect mane than the plain zebra we had seen elsewhere. Like the giraffes, this species is endangered, with only around 2,250 individuals in the wild. No wonder it had taken a while to find one. Our first rosy-patched bushshrike was immature, and missing the rosy patches. Luckily we found some of the spectacular adult males too. Another new species was golden pipit. The bright yellow face and belly of the adult male, contrasted with the neat black breastband, was very striking. Nearby a tree full of wattled starlings were in various stages of plumage, but only one displayed anything of the adult breeding male's wattles and yellow face. Our first, and lifer, eastern chanting goshawk showed up next. We'd seen the dark chanting goshawk back in the Masai Mara, and this adult looked very similar, except that the plumage was slightly lighter and the cere of the bill was yellow and not orange. It was nice to see the charming black-capped social weavers busily constructing nests. We also kept an eye on the sky and were rewarded with a flyover battler. Another new bird. This one was similar to the golden-breasted bunting we had seen earlier in the trip, but this time it was a Somali bunting. It is told from the golden-breasted bunting by being slightly paler, with narrower stripes on the head. However, the easiest criterion for identification was to be location, since Somali buntings prefer drier habitats and their range hardly overlaps with that of golden-breasted bunting. It was a fantastic-looking little bird and treated us to quite a show. This female red-billed quelea was the first we had seen since our very first day in the field in Kenya. Another new shrike species, the red-tailed or Turkestan shrike. This bird was a migrant, overwintering in Kenya from its breeding grounds in southern Siberia and Central Asia. It had been a good shrike day, and we added a couple of the sociable white-rumped shrikes to the tally. The sighting of a grey-headed kingfisher suggested that we might be getting close to water. It is a woodland kingfisher of dry country scrub, although it is often found near water, despite not being aquatic. It likes to nest in holes in steep-sided riverbanks. Overhead we enjoyed sightings of Verreaux's eagle and tawny eagle. White-headed mousebird and ring-necked dove provided a little avian excitement in the surrounding bushes. Even better was an immature Isabeline shrike, another migrant species. A smart vitaline masked weaver was also present. It was after midday, and even the most avid birders have to eat. Our guides were planning to take lunch next to the Ewaso Ngiro River, the actual muddy waters according to the name. It would definitely live up to the epithet. We would find some interesting species here, once we had negotiated our exit through the gate and made sure we could come back in afterwards. If you would like more information, see our 3-volume travelogue, in ebooks or paperbacks, from Amazon. Our trips to Panama and Costa Rica are recorded in videos on our channel and in travelogues, available from Amazon. If you have enjoyed watching this video, and would like to see more of our adventure in Kenya, please like and subscribe to our channel. Don't miss the rest of the Kenyan birding safari series. Thanks for watching.